Hello everyone, my name's Identity, and once again we're going to do another weapons reaction to see if it needs a nerf, or a buff, or can we just put it right into the game. And today's weapon... So, for those who don't know about this weapon, first of all, this is the weapon that Uncle Dane made. Ugh. Let's just get right into it. The Ammo Reserv. This is an interesting weapon of sorts. It's definitely different. Let's just get into it. And, well, there you go. That's the main weapon's purpose here. It gives the heavy ammo back so that when he's run out of bullets, you can have it. Yeah, I kind of just thought of something a bit funny. What if instead of in the secondary slot, we threw this into his melee section? What if you had, what if you had this for a melee weapon instead, where you could still throw it to other players and stuff, but you could also, like, whack people with it? That would also be kind of helpful, as instead of it taking up the secondary slot, Heavy could have both a machine gun and a shotgun, which would thus utilize getting ammo back even more so. Just a thought. Also, are you keeping an eye on that little meter in the bottom? I hope so, because this is something else I'm going to point out. I do have to say I like the bands on the inside. Fun fact, that's what made me want the Natasha for my primary. Just the fact that it had those little bands on the gun. I found those amusing, that it looked like the Heavy could have just taken off the band to reload his gun. I don't know, something fun about that just made me chuckle a bit. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is one of my main problems about this weapon here. Like, it's supposed to be a weapon to help the Heavy to get more ammo. But the thing doesn't recharge over time. One of the great things, and let's be honest here, this is something that Heavies will use instead of the sandwich. Alright, we're looking at our precious sandwich here. The thing doesn't recharge though over time. Uncle Dane, I love you, ma'am. No homo, but why did you say no timer? Now, I'm going to assume that in a fight, heavies can usually pick up the ammo boxes that are left behind. Assuming a spy and a scout don't run up and take them first. Or the engineer, which usually has heavy. I usually let the engineer take the ammo packs. Kind of funny, actually. Oh boy, here comes my main hateful thing to say about this weapon. Here we go. There you go, people. When Uncle Dane first made this weapon, it was so that heavies could get more ammo. Because for anyone who's played heavy, you'll learn one thing very quickly. You have 200 bullets. In a soldier's eyes, that's like having 8 bullets. In a sniper's eye, that's like having 4. That's like having 4 bullets. For a spy, is like having 12. And for a scout, well, I think you get the picture here. Heavy's ammo goes by quickly. And it's really shocking when you think about how much money you're shooting. Anyways. Here's my main problem, though, with the weapon. Whereas, usually with guns, if you pick something up, say your primary's out, and you pick up an ammo box, if you've got a shotgun, that shotgun's gonna also get some ammo, too. Not with this weapon for some reason. Even if your primary is active, for some freaking reason here, the damn thing demands to be full. Let me remind you something here. It takes 200 ammo to fill this thing up. So if you're not at a place with a decent engineer, and by a decent engineer, I probably mean one of your friends. Either that or just be at a place where they have a giant ammo box, which, by the way, I've been on a few maps. Those aren't common. I get that I might be hating on this weapon kind of bit, but you gotta understand, I'm looking at this weapon from a medic standards here. This is the weapon through a medic main's eyes. And frankly, when I'm in a pinch and I've been fighting with a heavy, I don't want more ammo, I want health.
Hey, Hanks!
Oh, don't worry, I'll comment on this in the next scene. In literally just 2 seconds, the heavy gets full ammo from the dispenser. But here's the main thing that I see this weapon for. Now imagine you're on 2 Fort. You're a scout. And you're going to run for that intelligence. Because you're a scout, you're going to be the first one there. You gotta try to run before the engineers get their sentries built up. And with luck, you do. There's no sentries in the front area, so just hop right through. You get downstairs, and all of a sudden you hear a little something. A little blink blink. Oh, you know that sound. It's a mini sentry. And that'll be a bit of a pain to take out. All of a sudden, you go to hit the you go to try to shoot out the mini sentry, as it does only have 100 health, so it won't be too hard to kill. Then the Hulong Heater Heavy starts revving. That's what this is going to encourage. Instead of heavies following their medic girlfriends, heavy's gonna dump medic and go with engineer. That's all this is encouraging a heavy to do, is stick with engineer. And I'm sorry, Uncle Dane, this is the only time I can see this weapon being useful. And this is honestly kind of pointless. As I said before, the only way I can really see this weapon being used is if the tag turtling. So really, what was that, 25% more? Yeah, 25% more movement speed for 10 seconds. I'll admit that's pretty damn nice. I wish a buffalo steak sandwich could do that for you instead. But I'm sorry, man. That's not gonna work out in any scenario. I wonder though if it still gets that movement speed while he's revving up the gun. But anyways, fell off. I have to run to the donut shop! Fill this box with donuts! Now every time you see this running animation, you're gonna think that in your head. Donuts. I need donuts. So, final criticism on this weapon? No. This weapon is far from ready to being put in this game. I'm just sorry, guys, but this is not a weapon that's going to help anyone. If you want a heavy doing its gosh dang job, he needs to be in the front lines, tanking damage, and making sure that that medic doesn't die. And let me tell you one thing. If a medic calls for you saying he needs some more health, and you just throw down this thing that gives ammo, let me tell you, that medic is gonna stop healing you. Trust me. I've done this before, and I've seen it before. When all you little douchebag heavies just eat the sandwich right in front of the medic, Guess what? Do that enough times and the medics are going to avoid you, no matter how much you call for them. Oh, and by the way, these are the 3 loadouts that I kind of thought of when watching this weapon. For the Hulong heater, because, let's face it, anyone who's used this weapon knows that you will lose ammo in this thing more. So it would really be idolizing the weapon most of all. Killing blocks, gloves of urgently, you know why. It's fun. And when you are about to lose your primary, because here's the other thing. Until this thing gets full ammo again, you can't activate this slot or this slot. And if you're out of ammo here, your gloves are the only thing keeping you alive. So maybe you'll also want these. This is another one that I thought would do pretty good for heavy. Brass beast, because let's face it, if you're going to be turtling, you might as well have some fun with it. And deal some extra damage. Hey, people say you move like a sentry anyways. Might as well let the engineer treat you like one. And this weapon, because when soldiers and demos come to try to destroy that sentry, it's nice to be resistant. Alright, so that's my criticism on this weapon. No offense to you, Uncle Dane, really, but this is just not gonna be a good weapon. My name is Identity. Have a good one, everybody.